Tonight we have highlights from Week 9. We have your Week 10 mid-7th inning updates, and we have some broadcast schedule updates for you for baseball and football. All of this and more in 20 seconds. It's 1, 2, 3 strikes. Hey, fellow fanatics, welcome to the 7th inning stretch, sponsored by Sport Management Solutions, your one-stop shop for all your athletic communication needs. How is everybody on this Friday night? If you are out there, please sound off and say hello to us. I know you have a million other things that you could be doing on this Friday night. We appreciate the 3 of you that are out there right now watching. So this is our first 7th inning stretch back-to-back episode that we've done this year. This is our 5th one in our first season of doing these. This is our 2nd season of the APBL, our official FSA baseball league. We've done this a couple of other years, but we made it official last year. Hanley, how are you? Stick around after this. We'll go over your computer stuff with you, make sure all of your stuff is good. How is it working out for you so far? Tracy out there as well. Tracy, how are you? Let's see. We're gonna talk about. So last week we did the highlights of where we were at in the mid-7th inning, or the 7th inning stretch. You know, the name of the show, and wanted to give you a final score from each one of those games. We did such a great job last week doing graphics for it all that I decided to just go ahead and use the graphics again this week and update, and some of them had some pretty major updates to them. Hey, Metric is out there. I'm going to assume that you're not driving right now, my friend. Hopefully you are stationary and you get to have the weekend off. That would be awesome. Hope you're doing well, my friend. So use those graphics. Like I said, a couple of them had some major changes to them. Metrics did not, because the Yankees continue to just keep on rolling and kicking ass. And then we'll have a little bit of a quick update of where we're at. Oh, good. That's awesome. For the night or just for a little bit. And then we'll do some week 10s, and then we'll talk about what's going to happen with the broadcast over the next couple of weeks. And then we'll get out of here for the night. That way you all can enjoy the part of your Friday night that you really want to enjoy. So last week we highlighted the highest scoring team going into the Friday's games, and that belonged to the Texas Rangers. They didn't end up being the highest scoring team of the week, but they still did get the win over the Orioles. The score you're looking at right there was where we were in the middle of the 7th inning last week. Here is your final score. Rangers end up winning by 50. Final score there, 299 to 249. Oh, look at you, man. You're just the best. We love you, man. Thank you. Hopefully I won't keep you long. That way you can get back on the road and the bosses don't get mad at you. Last week, our largest margin of the lead for the week was the Braves, who had a comfortable 78-point lead on the Red Sox. That's what it looked like in the middle of the 7th inning last week. Here is your final score. They finished off the weekend with a 110-point win. Final score 260 to 150. And then in our narrowest margin of the lead from last week going into the bottom of the 7th, the Tigers held on to a 5-point lead at that moment, but couldn't maintain the advantage. Sorry, Hanley, I know you're out there right now. Cubs came away with a victory. 309 to 247 was your final score. And then we mentioned last week we had 2 surprise games for you. The first one being the White Sox, who were up on the Blue Jays going to the 7th inning. As you all know, the White Sox have struggled a little bit this year, but they were able to hold off the Blue Jays, and they ended up getting the win, 302 to 188. And then in the second surprise game, the Guardians were unable to close out against the Giants despite their 58-point lead in the middle of the 7th inning. Giants ended up taking the win by 49 points. Final score there, 244 to 195. JB out with us as well. I think Jonathan was part of the conversation we were just having with Kevin as he's doing some house shopping in the New Jersey area. It's crazy how different prices of houses are depending on where you're at in the country. That's for sure. We already said metric is out there right now. We said the Yankees continue to conduct business as usual, and they continue to roll. They were up on the Cardinals only by 10 going into the bottom of the seventh inning, but they ended up being our top scoring team of the week. They ended up winning 321 to 256. And in what was probably the craziest game of the week, and I'm not saying it just because it involved me, but listen to these stats. Reds are up on the Angels by 45 points on Friday morning. Reds still had a 5-point lead going into the late games on Saturday night. When I say late games, we're talking like first pitch 10:10 East Coast time. Reds took the loss. Angels dominated the game from the late games on Saturday and all day on Sunday. Look at this final score. Angels end up winning 290 to 190, a 100-point margin of victory for MJ and the Angels. So congratulations to her. And Jonathan says, wait until they play the Red Sox. I'm going to assume you're talking about the Yankees. That should be a good game, actually, between the two of you. And speaking of future games, let's look at where we're at in the middle of the seventh inning right now for the Week 10 games. Games I want to highlight, talking about the Yankees, they continue to prove why they're the top scoring team in the league. They have the most points going into Friday's games. They have the lead on the Tigers right now, 248 to 127. Since Jonathan's out there in the JB, the Red Sox are still looking for the second win of the season, but they're currently up on the White Sox 166 to 110. Future is looking pretty good for them. And then the team that is currently in the lead in the power rankings, which is the Texas Rangers, she's finding herself in a very unfamiliar territory right now as she is down to St. Louis 133 to 96. And as you look at the scoreboard up there, there are the rest of your scores from around the league as we head into the bottom of the seventh inning. Now, I didn't get a good look at first pitch of first game today, but all of these scores are before that first pitch. If anybody wants a highlight of where we're at right now or wants to throw out some scores at me, I'll throw them up on the screen. But that is it. Always try to keep the seventh inning stretch a quick show, just like it is at the Diamond when you're there. Seventh inning stretch should just be enough time for you to get up, stretch your legs, get ready for the rest of the game. And that's what we're going to do here. Speaking of the rest of the game, let's talk about the rest of the month for the month of June. We won't have any shows next week at all. Nothing on Wednesday, nothing on Friday. Going on vacation, going to meet up with the sisters in Gatlinburg. Oh, that's awesome. God, I'm trying to think if I've actually got anybody in the starting lineup for the Phillies today. I got nobody from Pittsburgh on my team, so not a big deal. But that sucks because I know that's who you would like to be watching right now. So no broadcast next week at all. No Fanatically Real broadcast on Wednesday. No seventh inning stretch on Friday. Going to spend time with the sisters and families up there in Gatlinburg, hopefully without incident. Next show will be Wednesday, 18 June. We will be back with the Fanatically Real broadcast. What we're going to do on that show is we're going to go over the schedule makeup for the WRL League, meaning when are we going to play in division and when are we going to play out of division. I'll go over that and why we picked those weeks for these particular reasons, just like we did for the APFL. But that's also going to be the night that we're going to spin the wheel for the doubleheader week. That's where we're going to find out which week we're going to play two games. And since we have the schedules already built out, or at least for type of game, you will know what type of game you're going to be playing in that week in a doubleheader, whether that's going to end up being two in-division games, one in division, one out, or two out-of-division games. I'm not even really sure if we've got the schedule built in such a way that one of those things or are more prevalent to happen than the other ones. I'd actually have to go back, and then maybe before we spin the wheel, I can let you all know the chances of each one of them happening. Oh man. Now I do have players playing in that one, so that hurts my soul a little bit to hear the Red Sox and the Yankees are in a delay right now, especially just being in a delay with those two great teams playing against each other more than anything. So 18 June, mark it on your calendar. We'll do it at our 8:30 p.m. East Coast time, regularly scheduled program for the Fanatic Real broadcast. If you liked tonight's show, the seventh inning stretch, make sure or if you've watched some of our other broadcasts before, make sure you go out and like, share, subscribe, follow us on all of our social media outlets and all of the things. Make sure you check out Sport Management Solutions, our title sponsor for everything this year. Make sure you check out the Recast, who are the official music of the FSA. And remember, we are Fanatically Real. Have a good Friday night. Hit me up on Discord if you need anything. Hanley, I'll be right back with you shortly. Y'all have a great evening.